as we gear up for Episode 7 and potentially Episode 8 of the NXT UK brand. We're here to talk about the first 6 episodes that get caught up on the road so far. So we're just going to go through the first 6 episodes. We're going to talk about the things that have happened, then kind of discuss what we like so far and what we can do without. So, starting on episode 1, we had Joe Coffey defeat Mandrews. We had a Coffey Brothers attack Mandrews, who was saved by Flash Morgan Webster. We had some vignettes from Eddie Dennis, Mustache Mountain talking about the tag titles. Dave Mastiff destroyed Sid Scala. Tony Storm defeated Nina Samuels. And in the main event, Pete Dunne defeated Noam Dar to retain the UK Championship. Then on episode 2, we had El Ligero defeat Wild Boar. Dakota Kai defeated Killer Kelly. And then Dakota Kai talked about the women's division. Eddie Dennis, again, talking about the fact that he missed a UK tournament. Zach Gibson saying that he was actually working at a disadvantage when he faced Pete Dunne, saying that if he hadn't had to go through the entire UK tournament, he would have beat Pete Dunne. He talks about how Noam Dar failed. Him and Noam Dar start to fight, and then Johnny Saint tells them to both come to his office.
Like a fucking principal.
Yeah. That's kind of the vibe I get from Johnny Saint as a GM.
And they both cowered like kids do from like a principal.
Noam Dar still had a smirk on his face, but Zach Gibson looked like the bully who got in trouble and had to go to the principal's office. Travis Banks wanted to go after the Coffey Brothers. That didn't work out well later on. We'll talk about that in a second. Ashton Smith defeated Tucker, and then Tyler Bate defeated Wolfgang with the Tyler Driver. Then in episode 3, we had Trent Seven defeat Saxon Huxley. We had a Coffey Brothers vignette. Flash Morgan Webster defeated Mark Coffey. Mark Andrews and Travis Banks stopped a post-match attack from both of the Coffey Brothers again. We had a Ginny vignette. Danny Burch defeated Sam Gradwell, and then Burch started calling out Pete Dunne, saying that it wasn't about respect anymore, it was about being the champion. Travis Banks, we'll talk about that in a second. And in the main event, Zach Gibson defeated Noam Dar with Helter Skelter. Then on episode 4, we had Mustache Mountain defeat Saxon Huxley and Sam Gradwell. Travis Banks was attacked before what was supposed to be a tag team match, before a match against Wolfgang. Mark Andrews ended up taking his place. Isla Dawn defeated Nina Samuels. Pete Dunne and Danny Burch both kind of commented on their upcoming UK title match, which we'll talk about in a second. We had another Eddie Dennis vignette talking about his debut coming in the next episode. Jordan Devlin debuted and defeated Tucker. And then in the main event, Mark Andrews defeated Wolfgang. The Coffey Brothers attacked Mark Andrews, and then Wolfgang helped. Webster tried to come out and help out, and it was a bad situation because Wolfgang and the Coffey Brothers make one hell of a unit. Then on episode 5, we had Dave Mastiff defeat Damian Weir. Ligero defeated James Drake. Zach Gibson talked trash about Amir Jordan, who would be debuting on the following episode. Ashton Smith was attacked by Wolfgang. It was supposed to be a match. Wolfgang and the Coffey Brothers beat him down and then talked about how they're going to take over the UK division. Then we had Smith, Andrews, and Webster all go to talk to Johnny Saint about getting a match against him, and the following week we will get a 6-man tag team match. Eddie Dennis debuted and defeated Sid Scala despite Sid Scala actually looking pretty decent in that match. He had a little bit of fire in there, but it didn't work out. And then Pete Dunne retained the UK Championship against Danny Burch after breaking his fingers and causing him to tap out. And finally on episode 6, we had Tony Storm defeat Dakota Kai, Ginny attacking Dakota Kai after the match. Zach Gibson defeated Amir Jordan, started talking trash, and then Trent Seven came out and talked trash back at him. Jordan Devlin defeated Kenny Williams, and in the main event, Wolfgang and the Coffey Brothers defeated Mark Andrews, Flash Morgan Webster, and Ashton Smith. So, 6 episodes down. The past 2 weeks, they've uploaded 2 episodes. More than likely because on the 24th and 25th of November, they have the brand new TV tapings that they're going to be doing. So they're probably trying to catch up from the 3 or 4 tapings that they've already done. So there's a good chance we'll probably get 2 episodes a week leading up to there, just in time for the brand new episodes to start airing, which would be good. Because then we'll get all caught up. We'll know champions and all kinds of stuff, and Yeah. So, what's stood out to you so far, match wise?
Match wise, I'd be remiss if I didn't say the UK Championship match between Danny Burch and Pete Dunne.
That was a definition of hard-fought battle. Those two worked harder than I think I've seen anybody work in a title match lately, and that goes through pretty much all the brands.
Yeah,
because Danny Burch is just a rough and tumble. He works hard in every match he's in. And then Pete Dunne, that was the most danger I felt like Pete Dunne was in outside of someone like Tyler Bate. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch that match.
What about you? You have any big standout matches that you really enjoyed?
I'm going to say, just for the sake of the build, the most recent 6-man tag match, because I enjoyed the build of putting the Coffee Brothers and Wolfgang together, and then kind of, I didn't expect Ashton Smith to become as popular as he did, just because he kind of seemed like one of those, he's just kind of here, but the crowd actually gets behind him and is actually invested when he's in the ring. So to team him up with two of the potential biggest baby faces on the roster, with Webster and Andrews, it's a fun little trio against three of the biggest, baddest dudes on the roster. It was a fun match to watch. I knew the heels were probably going to get a win, but that just means that we'll have kind of the comeuppance when the baby faces get their wins back.
Yeah, and what it is, I can almost guarantee you, it's when Ashton Smith is out and the Kiwi Buzzsaw Travis Banks gets put back in.
Yeah. Travis Banks being taken out is definitely going to light a fire, and it's probably going to be the undoing for Wolfgang and the Coffee Brothers.
The Scots.
The Scott. Is that officially?
No, they're like the Scots. I the whole time I was thinking of them in my head, I would call them Scotland Yard.
That's not bad. Because I know
we're big hairy Scot boys.
When they're all the graphics that they bring up when they're all next to each other, it's more beards in more places because it just as you go down
progressively beardier.
Yeah, progressively beardier and hairier. Yeah, it's a cool team though.
Yeah, no, you throw Killian Dane in there and you just get the hairiest stable that existed.
They'd get stuck together.
No.
There's a lot of hair tangling, and it'd be a bad situation.
What about people specifically? Some standout people, okay. Maybe people that you haven't been exposed to prior to the UK division coming up. Who aside from the obvious, which is like Pete Dunne. And
I'm trying to stay away from the
people who've already been staples essentially. Yeah. So who's been opening your eyes? Who's really stood out to you? Unless you want me to go first.
Yeah, you go ahead and go first because I got a couple that I'm.
One, I want to see more, and this is I really enjoyed him watching him on the UK Independence.
Okay.
I really liked his showing in the tournament this year. Dave Mastiff.
Oh yeah, he's a freaking monster.
Dave Mastiff.
I
want more of a dude who looks like Otis Dojovic ate Otis Dojovic.
Yeah.
But can do a cannonball from a third of the way across the ring.
Yeah, his ability to launch his ginormous body is redonkulous. And
I want to see him and Otis in a match.
Oh, that'd be great.
It'll be Heavy Machinery versus Dave Mastiff and Tucker.
One of these things is not like the other.
Except for the name.
It's Tucker. I'm just talking body wise. It would be Tucker versus Tucky.
Yeah. And Otis versus the Bomber. Also, though, I just want to say one of my favorite guys, and I was really glad that they did him justice from the beginning with the vignettes all the way up until the debut, is Eddie Dennis, Prince of Wales.
Here's the thing.
He is an ass. He's the best ass.
We talk about...
He doesn't have the best ass. He is the best ass.
So, yeah, we talk about Eddie Dennis a lot on Indie News because he's a mainstay in Attack.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, we've seen him on a few other random things, but I hadn't really been exposed to Eddie Dennis as a wrestler, as a promo guy, and watching the vignettes, I was like, okay. I immediately assumed he was gonna come to NXT UK and just kill British Strong Style, because he's just mad at all three of those guys. Like, you guys, you know, took what I helped build or what. It just seemed like he was just so entitled to everything. I was like, man, fuck this guy. And then he throws in like the Matt Stryker situation where he's like, oh, I was the youngest principal at a school. I said, fuck that job, I want to be a wrestler. Like, there's so many layers to this guy.
And here's the thing too, like, even if you didn't see any of the vignettes, when you watch him walk to the ring for the first time, he's the most unassuming looking man.
Oh yeah, he's scrawny.
Yeah, he's
just really tall.
He's kind of lanky. He doesn't look like he's a guy who's going to hurl you around. But, you know, you saw he did that, like, crucifix buckle bomb.
Oh, yeah.
He forearmed and kicked the shit out of Sid's face.
To be fair, Sid Scala is not a big person.
No.
He's a very tiny man. He's a great jobber. I think he is potentially... He's the new Barry Horowitz.
He's Mikey Whipwreck 2.0.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I liked watching him just kind of like get that moment, but then Eddie Dennis go, no, I waited a decade to get here, and this is what you give me. Like, just the fact that he was just so mad at WWE or NXT in general.
I like the idea that he's got a grudge against the brand.
Yeah, like the brand did him wrong because he was hurt. Yeah. I appreciate that. I mean, I've already said, you know, Ashton Smith has been a lot better, but I've already been kind of exposed to him. I think the one person that I hadn't seen a whole lot that I'm glad he's a part of the brand, I'd like to see him even go over to 205 Live, is El Ligero. Mm-hmm.
Or Ligero, as they call him.
I'm going to call him, yeah. And they gave Wild Boar a name. I'm not going to call Wild Boar by his fucking name. He's the Wild Boar. And that's a terrifying little dude. When he's got those giant contacts in and just that mask, that is a scary motherfucker. Mm-hmm. Him and Ligero having their first match on episode 2 was really great. And then Ligero beating the second time James Drake. James Drake, who just looks homely as all hell. El Ligero is fun to watch. The fact that he's been wrestling for like 12 years already, like, that's insane. I think a lot of these people have been just wrestling for ridiculous amounts of time.
Yeah, a lot of these guys, especially the ones who aren't older yet, have been wrestling since their teens. Yeah. You know, it's not like a lot of the guys, you know, a lot of the time you could start training when you were a teen, but you never really got to break into the business until you got older.
Exactly.
You know, until you paid your dues and, you know, you had to go through the whole rigmarole. Now that the whole rigmarole ends up kind of getting condensed into the training, and so now you have the guys who get, you know, the Tyler Bate, who's been wrestling for like 4 or 5 years, but he's only like 20 now.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
You know, these guys who in like 10 years time will be wrestling more than half of their lives.
Yeah. It's insane that there's so much tenure in such young guys already. Yeah. And I'm going to give a shout out also to Zach Gibson. He's got to be, if there's one, he is heel personified.
Yeah, if there's anything that just blew me away every single time it happened, it was Zach Gibson's heat.
Oh, yeah. As soon as the first note of his music comes on, it is a chorus of boos, and it does not stop.
Yeah.
Like, the promos that he cuts, like, I love just his promo, you know, talking about how the fact that, you know, if he was fresh and had gone against Pete Dunne, he would have wiped the floor with Pete Dunne.
Yeah, and what I enjoy is there's a heel who came up with an argument that actually has merit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he's not just coming out of the blue saying like, oh, I'm the best guy on the brand. He literally wrestled 3 guys one day and then had to try and challenge Pete Dunne, who hadn't wrestled anybody, the next day.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. He had a legit gripe for the championship.
And then comparing it to Noam Dar, who won the number 1 contenders match at the
tournament, had months to prepare and still couldn't beat Pete Dunne. Yeah, Zach Gibson is a fantastic heel.
And it's just, I don't know, it's been a long time since I've seen a crowd so unified in wanting to piss off.
Yeah, I don't, usually if, like, someone, I don't know, someone like Kevin Owens, if Kevin Owens gets heat, there's still going to be a small group of people that want to see Kevin Owens. Or Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah.
He gets fantastic heat, but there's always those people that still chant Psycho Killer. There is nobody chanting for Zach Gibson.
Unless they're telling you to take your shoes off if you hate him.
Exactly.
Or stand up.
That is one of my favorite things. Okay,
if you hate Gibson, stand up. Yeah, if you hate Gibson, sit down. I like that one. Yeah. If you hate Gibson, shoes off.
In the most recent episode, when Trent Seven was coming out and bent down like he was going to start taking his shoe off. It's so good. Another chant was, "Hey Jesus, will you be my Lord?" to Saxon Huxley 2 episodes ago. That was hilarious as well. Okay, is there anything that you could do without? Anything? Is there something that you would change so far about the UK brand?
Not a lot.
I agree.
More Dave Mastiff, please.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. I want less Ashton Smith.
Yeah. Doesn't do it for you, huh?
I see him. Well, it didn't pop as much in the 6-man tag just because there was a lot more going on.
Right.
But the one-on-one match was him against Tucker.
Yes.
Was it?
Yeah, that was
episode 3. I think.
Yeah, that was his debut.
Maybe it was 4.
No,
or 2.
Episode 2. Yeah, Ashton Smith versus Tucker.
Yeah. He seemed very selfish to me.
Really?
It seemed like a lot of when Tucker got his spots in, Ashton's selling was a lot more quick. Get to the next thing. Get to my spot. And it seemed like he was more reluctant to give Tucker the spotlight. That was just my way when I saw it.
Okay. Just kind of how you've felt so far.
Yeah. Man, I was a little let down from Killer Kelly.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's it's one thing to have a gimmick, but she came out and she exuded let's try and be the generic MMA background person and copy AJ Lee's facial expressions.
A little bit.
But she doesn't deliver any of her strikes with the confidence and force that somebody like Ronda Rousey or Shayna Baszler does.
Right.
They come through and they dominate and they have that air about them that yeah, I'm a badass. She comes out, she has the I'm a badass in her entrance. She does scream a lot, but when she's doing these pump kicks that she does to create space, it looks like there's nothing behind them.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like she has killer instincts.
Yeah. I'll actually kind of piggyback on that because I feel like the women's division as a whole is very lacking so far. Nina Samuels is decent, but they're obviously not putting a lot of stock in her because she's already lost twice.
And she's got my favorite theme song out of all of them.
Really?
Yeah, I think she's got an awesome theme song.
Here's the thing is, Toni Storm obviously is fantastic. Dakota Kai, she, the match against Killer Kelly, when she hit the chiropractor, that was a rough chiropractor. So, Dakota's kind of been hit and miss. I'm really looking forward to Jinny being... Jinny impressed me so much in the Mae Young Classic. I'm looking forward to her doing more on the UK brand. And then... Isla Dawn. She's also hit and miss, but I've seen less of her, so I my hope for her is just not as
Yeah.
Dakota, I know I'm going to get good stuff out of Dakota. Yeah. But Isla Dawn, I've only seen her wrestle like 2 or 3 times now, and I'm just like, come on, like, do something, because I'm not into it.
Yeah, I know. For some reason, like, she's another one of those ones where I see her, and she's just not giving me enough.
Yeah.
Like, she's not a bad wrestler, per se.
No.
But it's like, she's hoping to get a lot over with, like, the persona. But the persona isn't being translated into the wrestling.
And that's another thing, is Vic and Nigel didn't really, like, hit on the modern day witch type of thing, like in her one match against Nina Samuels. Is like, they said they said some stuff that just didn't seem to gel with anything that we learned about her from the Mae Young Classic.
Yeah.
And it was like they're trying to put over a completely different character, but it's the same person doing the same stuff. And I was just like, I was very confused, and I was looking forward to them putting over the fact that she calls herself the modern day witch. They said witchcraft once, and that was about it. So, yeah, I'm looking for more women's division.
Yeah, well, I mean, there are 2 big UK women's division names.
Yes.
That haven't had matches yet. And you picked up on one, which is Ginny.
Yeah.
And the other one, who I know for sure is a big member of the UK women's division, is Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, and Rhea Ripley is one of my favorites, and I'm looking forward to her getting involved. And on that same note, but I'm not disappointed with it so far, I'm looking forward to the building more of the tag team division as well. Because with Mustache Mountain, with the Coffee Brothers, those 2 teams already, I'm excited for what's to come as far as the tag team division is concerned.
And and I was always wondering, like, man, I thought it would be great for a while, especially when Oni got injured.
Yeah.
And they had to take time off. I was like, man, if they bring Lorcan and Birch back on 205 Live.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. They're both small guys. They could both probably fit over really well. I think Danny Birch might have to lose a little weight, but probably not that much.
Yeah.
But then
if I'm not mistaken, I think he was billed at like 215.
Yeah. But then I was like, man, if they just put Oni over on the UK division, and put him and Birch as in the tag division,
have 1-2 run roughshod over UK, that'd be fantastic. And especially you get them, you have the finesse that they have, and that would work well with Mustache Mountain, and then their brawling ability would be fantastic against the Coffee Brothers.
Yeah.
So, needless to say, so far I'm impressed with the UK division ever expanding every single episode. There's at least 1 new debut every other episode. The storylines have been very concise. There hasn't been a lot of, like, this happened, but then we didn't do this, and then we're back here. It's hit the right beats, I feel like.
Yeah,
so far.
And what I really, really appreciate about it is the show is like 85% in-ring, bell-to-bell match.
Yeah, we see
which is like, I always thought, like, the idea of, like, NXT is like 75%, maybe 70 to 75% all in ring on their episodes. And I was like, man, they've got a really good ratio of wrestling to recaps and interviews and commercials. But then the UK brand is even more so.
Yeah.
Like
they devote a lot.
They have their like intro sequence, and then it usually immediately goes to first match.
Yeah, if it's not first match, then there's like a quick like Nigel and Vic letting us know what the main event is, and then what to look forward to, and then we go to a match. Yeah. Like that's probably like the longest break we get before someone's in the ring ready to kick off the show. So needless to say,
with more Johnny Saint, please.
Always more Johnny Saint.
Please tell me he's gonna have a match somewhere down the line.
Don't get your hopes up on that one.
I know.
Chill
but
out.
I want.
I know you do, but chill out. With that being said, we're looking forward to the new episodes. If they're doing 2 episodes, we'll probably cover both on the midweek wrap up since they're only an hour long. But yeah.
They're going to be taking over the spot where Lucha Underground previously was.
Yeah, so you'll be getting NXT 205 Live and NXT UK on the midweek wrap-up every single week. You can check that out on the videos here. You can check it out podcast form.
You can stay over here, though.
Yep.
Because things like the predictions video that's going to come out at the end of the week for Survivor Series and War Games.
Yeah.
You don't get that on our SoundCloud link.
Exactly. That is only video form because it's usually a lot longer. So, but for now, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in another video.
Yeah, the next one.
Where we'll talk about NXT UK.
You know how they say fuck Modus in the UK?
Do tell.
Fuck Modus.